Kadosh Boker Or. Daf Yomi Masechet Sanhedrin Daf Tzadik Vav Amud Aleph 96a1. We were talking about right now the following. We said, what does a person do in such a thing? If you remember, right? He was Sanhedrin comes and he says, "What am I going to do?" Elmaleh, Kadosh Baruch Hu comes and he tells him, "Zil v'shani nafshach." Right? Look, right? You have to come and you have to how do you call it? You have to disguise yourself. We're talking about right now what happened to the death of Sanhedrin. So if you remember, what happened is that after HaKadosh Baruch Hu killed out his entire army, which that was on Oda Yom, that was Haftarah that we translate, whether in Spanish or in English, right? That's what it says. If it wasn't for the pasuk, we wouldn't be able to say it. So what happened, right? He was afraid. So they went and they told him, go dress yourself up, disguise yourself. And then what happened is he's going to bring me some scissors, right? And I'm going to come and I'm going to shave you. So what happened? He comes and says, what am I going to bring you? He says, I'm going to go into this house. So what happened was he goes into the house and he finds Malachi Asharet that they were they look like human beings. So they were grinding dates. Amar lehu, he comes and he tells them, Tzadik Vav Amud Aleph on the top. Yeah? Lemala. Tzadik Vav Amud Aleph. Yeah, so he says, Amar lehu, he tells them, Havu le mispera, give me misperaim, give me scissors. Amruleh, they told them, go grind one gadin, and then we'll give it to you. Meaning, like what? You think you could just borrow things for free here? Right? We come, we give you chairs and this and coffee, tea, and for free. Put your phone here. So what happens? And then we'll give you the misparaim. Yeah. So what happens? Right, griva de kashiata. They give him the misparaim. Until all of a sudden he comes. All of a sudden it's choshech. It becomes choshech. Amarle says as again, Zila itinuna, bring me some fire, bring me a fire. Azalva itinuna, he brings a fire. Bahad de kanafachle, when he's bringing the fire in order to make it bigger, what happens is itle benura betikna, it goes on his zakan. It starts burning his beard. So Azal gazi lereshev dikne. So he comes and he took off his beard and his hair. Amru, they said, Hainu dichtiv, that's what it says in the pasuk. Become to zakat tispe amar of papa. Hainu damninche grita la rama shapile. If it was burnt, right? Meaning that if it's burnt the beard, so it's going to be good in your eyes, right? That he wasn't upset. Itle lenuru bedikna. Went on his zakan velo savat chucha mine, right? And it wasn't enough in order to start laughing at him. So it says they made a whole bunch of letzanut. Meaning that if he didn't answer on this, means he doesn't answer on anything. Fine. He went and he found a luach from Tevat Noach. So imagine he found a piece of wood, right, from the time of Noach, from the Tevat Noach. Amar, he said, this is the great God that he saved Noach from the Mabul. Amar, right? So he went and he told Nadar Sancheriv, if he's going to go and have etzlacha, he's going to bring his two children as the sacrifices. So Shamu Benohi, his children, right, heard that. V'katluhu. His own children killed him.
Oh.
You understand what happened? Yeah. Well, his child there castricized him, but his own children killed him. Because when the children heard that he comes and he makes a neder, that if he has atzlacha, he'll bring his children as sacrifices. So the two children are saying, yeah, really? Boom. They went and they killed him. Exactly. And that's what's written in the pasuk. They killed him by the sword. Right? So therefore, right, because he was bowing down to Neser, to this is that he made it into a god. So he comes and he wanted to bring his two children. So they went and they killed him in order to save themselves. So the two children of Sancheriv killed their own father, Sancheriv. That was the end of the life of Sancheriv. Okay, until here we're clear? Yeah? Okay. Then it says, Vayechalek alehem laila u va'avadav vayakem. So what happens is, right, is all of a sudden, right, they're running after them. Right? Since we're talking about the Malach coming and killing the nighttime, the Machaneh Ashur, so now the Gemara is going to speak about another one, which is also in the middle of the nighttime, where they're coming to smite the Oyevim of Hashem. Here we're talking about the 4 Melachim that went to fight against Avraham Avinu. Okay, so now we're going back to another war, which also happened in the middle of the nighttime. By the way, what night was that? Yeah. What was the night where you had the war of the 4 kings against the 5 that Avraham Avinu came and they went and they started killing them out. What was that night? Night of Pesach. The night of Pesach. So it's mamash apropos. We're talking about this now. Yeah. So it says, "Vayechalek alehem laila." Hu va'avada ve'ekem amar Rabbi Yochanan. Oto malach shenizdamen lo Avraham Laila shemo. His name was Laila. Right? And it says Shneimar, but it says a pasuk. Laila amar hora gaver. The malach, his name was Laila. So therefore, since it was, so it says that they went right. Vayechalek alehem laila. So the Laila came and was killing them out. Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha amar she'asa imo maaseh Laila. He made like an action of Laila. Shneimar min shamayim nilchamu kochavim misilotam nilchamu misisra. That all the kochavim and everything they started fighting against Sisra. So again, this is what's actually going on. Okay, vayirdof ad Dan. So it says, Rabbi Yochanan, kiven sheba oto tzaddik Dan. Once he came to Dan, tashash kocho, he became weakened. Why? Ra'ab b'nei banav, he saw that his grandchildren were coming to do avodah zarah in Dan. Shneimar vayashov et Echav v'Betel v'et Echav v'Natan b'Dan. Ve'af oto roshan v'kaber at she'higia ladan. And even Nebuchadnezzar didn't come against Bnei Yisrael until he went with Shevet Dan. Shneimar midan nishma nachalat susav. From Dan, meaning from there started right the downfall because of what they were doing actually. Yeah. Yeah. So he says, Amar Bilazar, says Bilazar, Afagav the Shalach Rabbi Yehuda Metera Minitzivin, right? He went and he sent, he Zaharu bezaken. Be careful with the zaken. Give him a sheshachach talmudo, umechamat onso. And what happens is you have to be very, very careful that when you have a zaken, that he knew a lot of chokhmah, and then all of a sudden he forgot his learning. So he says, why? Mechamat onso, because he just forgot everything. He Zaharu bevredin. Also be very careful when you're doing shchita in the vredin. Meaning certain things you have to be careful about. Why? Because this person, he was a huge Talmid Chacham. Now that he forgot everything, he feels like worthless. He feels that he has nothing in life. Imagine, so therefore you have to be very, very careful, right, with that person. Right? Here it says, let's say he became sick, right, or dochak mezonot, right? He says if it was just stam that he forgot, so then no, that's not what we're talking about. But if mamash, a person has to be careful. Right? And you have to be careful with bnei ha'me'aretz shemehentet Torah l'Yisrael, because from them Torah will come out to Yisrael. Because that's what we have to tell. Because usually the Torah will come from poor people, because since they don't have anything, so they come and they kill themselves over the Torah. The rich people, once their children come, they're very mimados. How do you say they're what was it? Not only haughty, but it's also that they're very, very mimado is spoiled. And since they're very, very spoiled, so they don't kill themselves over the Torah. So that's why they say, it's because the Torah will come from Bnei Ma'aretz. Right? Sadiq ata Adonai ki ariv elecha. Ach mishpatim adaber otach, madua derech reshayim tzalecha, shalu kol b'gdei vaged. Right? So he says, netatam gam shorashu yilchu gam asuperi. What does that mean? Yirmiyahu comes and he asks a question. When I'm going to come and argue, right, I know that you're going to be right. But I want to speak with you, mishpatim. Right, just like a person wants to come and wants to understand what's going on. Why is it that Nebuchadnezzar had hatzlacha? Maduar derech reshaim tzalecha. Yeah, why is it that the derech reshaim? Why do they have hatzlacha? And he conquered Yerushalayim. What's going on? Right? So shalu kol b'gdei. So he says, Maya hadurule. What did they answer him? Kiet raglim ratzta vayal'ucha. He says, right, when you're going to come and you're going to be ve'ech titchare et asusim. He says, are you going to bow down? So there's no tikva, right? How are you going to come and have tikva, right, against Sfat HaYarden, makom shegoim alav galav? So what does that mean? He says, I could run just as quick as the horses. Ben mitzeh hamayim in the water. So it's one person. He ran in front of him. Right? They said, he says, if you weren't able to keep yourself with the pace of one of these foot runners, so imagine that you're going to put yourself in the pace against a horse. The horse is 20 times faster. This is 3 meals. Imagine 3 parsaot. Because every single parsa has 4 meal. So imagine, if you already got tired after 3 meal, right, which is basically 18 times 3, right? So imagine you're going to do 4 parsaot. 3 parsaot, which 3 parsaot means 12 meal. 12 meal. Right? That's like 12 kilometers. 12 kilometers. Yeah, if you weren't able to do 3 kilometers, imagine 12 kilometers. Yeah? Uma b'yabasha, and this is in the yabasha. Imagine in the water. In the water, even worse. You understand? Afata, so to you, Uma b'schar arba psiyot sheshilamti loto rasha sherat tzachak vodi right ata tamea. There were 4 psiyot that he ran after my kavod. Keshani mishalem sachal Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov shelat tzod that they ran in front of me like susim. Alacha kama v'chama v'hainu dichtiv, and that's what it means. לנביאים נשבע ליבי בקרבי רחבו כל עצמותיי הייתי כאיש שיכור וכגבר עברו יין מפני השם ומפני דברי קודשו. What does that mean? He came and he paid Nebuchadnezzar back for the 4 pesiot that he ran after my honor. Now we have to understand, what do you mean? Ran after my honor for 4 pesiot? Listen to this Gemara. Hani arba pesiot mahi. What is this? He ran after me 4 pesiot, 4 steps. What's going on? So he says, dichtiv, בעת ההיא שלח מרודח בלדן בן בלדן מלך בבל ספרים. He went and he sent, and he get it, to Chizkiyahu HaMelech, right? But he heard that he was sick, right? That's also from Babel. No, we're talking about Nebuchadnezzar. Mishum ki chala Chizkiyahu v'chezak shadal sefarim u'mincha. He says, what? Because he was sick and he became better, he sent him sefarim and mincha? Says lidrosh et hamofet. He wanted to find out what was the miracle that happened. There was a miracle that happened, is that it's set, the sun set very, very quickly, and therefore 10 hours into, like, it shortened by 10 hours into the day in order that nobody would be able to do a sped to the rasha. Yeah, everyone understood. One more time. Achaz was a rasha. He went and he died. In order that they shouldn't eulogize him, HaKadosh Baruch Hu cut the day down 10 hours. So instead of a 12-hour day, it became 10 hours. So imagine all of a sudden, whoops, it becomes nighttime. Nighttime. We just started the day. Yeah, think about it. 2 hours into the day, boom, becomes nighttime. So when Chizkiyahu became sick and he became cured, so then HaKadosh Baruch Hu added the 10 hours then. תכתיב, it says in פסוק, הנני משיב את הצל המעלות, שידע מעלות אחז בשמן שאוכלים ניצל מעלות, אשר שמן של מעלות, ומעלות אשר ירדה. אמרו, my high, what is this? So he went and he started saying, I don't understand. The day became so long, there's something wrong. Meaning, if I'm going to come and I'm going to add you a few minutes to the day, you're not going to realize. If I start adding you 10 hours to the day, you're going to start saying, listen, there's something wrong here. You know, it's like going around and around, but it's still daytime. What's going on here? Something happened. They forgot to set. Like, well, what's going on? So he asked, and they told him Chizkiyahu became sick and he became cured. So Amar, he said, Ika Gavra Kai, well, there's such a great person in this world that the entire Shamayim changes everything just for him to come and to have, to have everything. What's going on? So what happened? So he says, I have to send him Shalom. So Katvule, they said, Shalama lemalka Chizkiya, Shalom lekarta Yerushalem, Shalom lelahar Rabba. Shalom to the great king Chizkiyahu. Shalom to the holy city of Yerushalayim, Jerusalem. V'shalom lelahar Rabba. And shalom to the great God. So what happened? Nebuchadnezzar, right, was Safred de Beladan Abba. Nebuchadnezzar was the Sofer of Beladan. Hayishata lo avahatam. He wasn't there. Meaning, even though he was a Sofer, he wasn't there at the time. Kiyata, when he came, Amar Lehu, they told him, Hechi katvitu. He asked them, no, how did you write the letter? Amrule, this is what we wrote. Amar Lehu, he says, Karitu lelahar Rabba v'katvu levasof. You're calling him the great God, and he's the third one on the list? Where are you guys? If you're saying that he's the great God, he should have been number 1, right? Not number 3. You understand? So he says, Amar, he said, Hachi ketir. This is what you have to write. Shalom lelahar Rabba, shalom lekarta. First, shalom, the great God. Then to the city of Yerushalayim. And then to the Chizkiyahu Melech. Amri Lei, they said, Karyana di Garta yu leva parvanka. He says, the one that's reading the get it, you have to be the shliach to do it. Right? By the way, this is a very famous dictum that always people say, Karyana di Garta yu leva parvanka. Meaning many times people come and they say, Rabbi, why don't you do something like this? And what do you want to tell him? This. Karyana di Garta yu leva parvanka. What does that mean? People, they talk a lot. They love talking. I love seeing people. Mamash, they talk and talk, but do it yourself. Do something. Instead of just complaining, instead of just talking and talking and talking and talking. Exactly, you're paka, exactly, yeah? So instead of doing that, so do something. Do an act. Emor me'at, v'aseh harbeh. I know a lot of people, they speak a lot. Yeah, emor harbeh, v'aseh me'at. Yeah, aseh me'at, mamash shum davar. They don't even start. You understand? Yeah, fine. So what happened? The hat batre. He ran after him. Kidrait arba parspisiot, ata ve'Gabriel ve'kukmeh. When he ran 4 steps, Gabriel stopped him. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, says Rabbi Yochanan, right? That means he was able to get him in the 4 partsot, right? In the 4 psiot, sorry. So he comes and he says, if it wasn't for the fact that Gabriel came and stopped him, lo ya takana lesoneim shel Yisrael. There will be no takana for the enemies, right? Quote unquote, of Israel. Meaning there wouldn't be a takana for us. Meaning if it wasn't for the, because look what a great reward Nebuchadnezzar had, right? That he was able to come and to destroy so many of the Jews because he gave kavod to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And what was the kavod that he gave to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? He ran to put him first on the list, that he's the most important. You don't start coming and saying, yeah, thank you to my parents, and thank you to my wife, and thank you to my mother, and thank you to my to my thing, and then by the way, thank you. Last but not least, Kilu, right? Thank you to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. No. The first one is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The least super one. By the way, the Midrash Tanchuma, the Midrash Rabbah, right, and the Zohar HaKadosh says it was 3 steps, not 4 steps. And therefore, what's 3 steps? Chazak Baruch. It says over here, because of that, the Midrashim bring down that after the Amidah, we take back 3 steps and we say, Yehira shetivneh bet HaMikdash v'mirav mimenu. Why? Those 3 steps are counteracting the 3 steps that caused the destruction of the Bet HaMikdash. Meaning, because Nebuchadnezzar came and he took 3 steps and that destroyed the Bet HaMikdash, Nebuchadnezzar Melech Bavel was one that destroyed the Bet HaMikdash, right? The first one. So because of that, we take 3 steps back and then we say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please build the Bet HaMikdash, because we're trying to counteract those 3 steps and then build the Bet HaMikdash. You understood? The greatness, you understood? You're learning Aleph Bet. It took you, 20 years, Baba Haki, to understand this. Now, Baruch Hashem. You see?
Live is not Zoom.
Yeah.
Live Gemara is not Zoom Gemara.
He says live is not Zoom. It's not the same. It's an Nepal Alam. Okay, let's go. Says the Gemara.
What the way Zoom is going to do?
Yeah. He says, my Beladan ben Beladan. What is Beladan? Oh, Beladan. What is this? Yeah, hey, it's true. Baladan. Yeah, it's Baladan. So he says, why was this the name also like his name, like his father? So he says, Amri Baladan Milkava, he was a melech. Ishtani apeva ki de kalba. So his face changed like the face of a dog. Yeah, so he had to go down. Oh. There's a beautiful sefer called Margaliot Yam that he brings down from the Zohar HaKadosh, but he doesn't bring down what he says. We would have to look it up. The Yavetz actually brings down the Baladan is the name, the same gematria, ki de kalba, like a dog. So Bekitzur, his face changed like a dog's face. Yeah, you have to be careful, dog's face. Yeah, I had somebody that I remember they used to put on tefillin. Used to come and he used to put on the tefillin. He used to take the kippah, put it in his mouth, and then he used to put on the tefillin in his head. But when he took the kippah in his mouth, he looked like when the dogs come and they take the frisbee and they put it in their mouth. So the exact same thing. So you have to person has to be careful. So he went down from his throne. Yeah, went down from his throne. Havayati bere, right, al malchuta. So his son was on the throne. Ki havaktiv. So when he used to write, havaktiv shmei ushmei davo beladam malka. So he used to write his name and the name of his father in order to give kavod to his father. Because since his father was still alive, usually when the father's alive, they don't, it doesn't skip a generation. But here he was forced to go down because what? The king is a dog. So he went down, and then the son would give the kavod to his father. And that's what it says in the pasuk. Beni chabed av. Beni chabed av. This is our case that the son is giving kavod to his father. Hadamran. ואדוניו דכתיב בחודש החמישי בסוד חודש שנת 19 שנה למלך נבוכדנצר מלך בבל בא נבוזראדן רב טבחים לפני מלך בבל בירושלים וישרוף בית השם ואת בית המלך. So he came and he burnt the בית השם ובית המלך. Right, so says the Gemara, ומי סליק נבוכדנצר לירושלים? What, he went up? וכתיב ויעל אותו מלך בבל רבלתה אמר זו אנטוכיה. He says Rav Chasta Rav Yitza Rav Dimi אחד אמר, one of them says דמות יוקנו הייתה חקוקה לו. Right, on Nebuzaradan he had the דמות יוקנו of Nebuzaradan of Nebuchadnezzar right? So it was like kilu that he was his melech was always in front of him. Meaning that he was so afraid. Meaning Nebuzaradan was the slave or the servant, if you want to call him, of Nebuchadnezzar. But he was so fiel, he was so loyal, right, to Nebuchadnezzar. It was kilu that he was always in front of him. Meaning he always had his king in front of him. He was very, very loyal, right, to his king. Okay, we're on Tzaddik Vav Amud Bet, yeah, 96b. Yeah, that's a hint to turn the page. Yeah? Okay, fine. Amar Rava. So from here, we actually learned the entire concept of taking the 3 steps back. Then we come and we said, right, that what happened is that Amar Rava, Rava says, Te'in tlat mea kedunyata, kudinata. There was a masav 300 predot, narga de parzela de shali be parzela, of patishe barzel, which is sholepe barzel, shadan Nebuchadnezzar Nebuzaradan. Kulu bilatana chadash ad Yerushalayim. All of them was that means he went and he sent him like 300 like type of hammers that destroys iron. Everything was hit. Everything was taken with one sha'ar. He wanted to go back. Amar, he went and he said, I'm afraid that what's going to happen to me is like what happened to Sanhedrin. He was afraid. Nebuzaradan was afraid. Nafka kala ve'amar, a call came out and it said, Shavar ba shavar, kofetz bar kofetz. Right? Which means zariz bar zariz. Right? He says, Nebuzaradan, Shevar, right? Now come. Now it came the time to destroy the Beit HaMikdash and to burn the Hechal. Pash lechad narga, he only had 1 patish left. Imagine, he had 300 mules full of weapons to destroy the wall. All of them were destroyed. He only had 1 left, 1 little patish, 1 hammer. What happened? Atamachye vekofa, he hit it, right, on the wall, vipatach, and it just opened up. Look at what it is, the Zman. When the time comes, there's nothing. That's it. 1 hit. You had 300 camels, 300 mules full of the boom, 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 boom. Nothing. The Gezerah, 1 time, boom, he gives a hit, boom, opens the door. Yeah, are you listening? Hava katil. Yeah? Hava katil ve'azal. He comes and he says, so he went and he just started killing people. Until he went to the Hechal. Adlik benura, he comes, he lights the fire. Kavash Hechala, right? The Hechal goes up in fire. Daruchu bemin shemaya, and all of a sudden, right? Nishpilu chazara, threw it down. Shlemar gatarach Hashem nivdura bat Yehuda kazayich edated. So now he started becoming all haughty. Nafka bakar v'amrale ama katalta kiti. You already killed the nation that was already killed. Hechala kalya kalit. You burnt the Hechal that was already burnt. Kimcha techina techant. You already made powder. You made like into the flour that was already shnemar kechide chaim techni kama galil right. He says shvol goli shok. Ivni no chitim not neemar el kamach. So chaza dama Zechariah. He saw the blood of Zechariah and Avi, right? That it was bubbling. Amalu, he said, my high. They said, what is this? Amnule, they said, dam zevachid shapach. He says, what's the blood of the korbanot? Amarle, who he told them, I said, yeah, let's go check it out. They went. And what happened was they started slaughtering the animals, but it wasn't the same. Amar lehu galuli, you have to tell me right now. Vilon, if not, we're going to peel off the skin from your flesh. Peel off your flesh, right? That's basically the Zaradan comes and he tells them, what is this blood? Why is it bubbling? So he told them it's blood korbanot. Now they didn't want to tell him it was the blood of the Navi that they killed him in the Beit HaMikdash, and it was bubbling all the time, right? Until he was going to be appeased. So what happened is that they said, blood of korbanot. So he said, let's test it. They tested it. It's not the same. So he told them, you either tell me the truth or I'm going to peel off your skin. So what happened? They told him, Hi Kohen v'Naviu. Zechariah was also Kohen and also Navi. You heard Kohen. He was a Kohen and a Navi. And what happened? They went and he gave them how do you call this? He gave them the prophecy that they were going to be destroyed and they were going to get to destroy the Beit HaMikdash. What happened? They killed him on the spot. Amar lehu, he says, I'm going to be mefayesoto. I'm going to appease him. Aiti rabbanan katil lave. He brought rabbis, he killed them all. Velonach, it was still bubbling. Aiti darke Nebuzaradan. Right? Because of the blood. Because of the blood of, he says, Aiti darke deverav. He brought children. Katil lave. Still. Pirche keuna, he killed them. Lonach. Adi katil lave tishim varbar. He killed 94,000 people. Velo nach, and it was still bubbling. Right? Karav legabeh, he went and he said, Zechariah. Tovim shebeini batem nichalach. He says, what? I went and I killed the majority of them. I killed a lot of good people. You want me to kill everybody else? That's what he told Zechariah Navi. Right? Remember, there's the blood of Zechariah Navi. Miyad nach. Immediately what happened? It stopped. It stopped bubbling. So he hit teshuvah bedateh. Nebuzaradan, he starts thinking to himself, wow, mahem shelo ibdu. They went and they killed one Jew. They killed Zechariah Navi. And this is what's happening. Ha'u gavrama. So what's going to happen to me? I just killed all of them. Right? If they killed one Kohen and Navi, and this is the punishment, so imagine what's going to be the punishment of me that I just killed all of them. What did he do? Arlak. He ran away. Veshadar purtita levete. And he left a tzava'ah, right, to his children, v'itkayer, and he converted. This mass murder, imagine somebody's going to come and they're going to tell you, right? We learned to the Braita, Naaman ger toshavaya. You know, Naaman was also a ger toshav. Nebuzaradan was a ger tzedek. He was a ger tzedek.
What's his name?
Yeah, it says over here. It doesn't say. He just said that he was mikabel alatzmo. That means he wasn't a ger toshav. He became a ger tzedek. Mamash, he 100% converted. Right? Mibnei banav shel Sisera. From the children of Sisera, limdu Torah b'Yerushalayim. They went and they taught Torah in Yerushalayim. Mibnei banav shel Sanhedrin. From the children of Sanhedrin, they taught Torah b'Rabim. Yeah, umaninu, who are that? Shemaya v'Avtalion. Shemaya v'Avtalion, they come from Sanhedrin. Yeah, so imagine the greatest of the rabbis, right? They were the ones that brought down the Masechet. Yeah, they brought it down. Mibnei banav shel Aman. From the children of Aman Rasha. Limdu Torah b'Bnei Brak. They taught Torah b'Bnei Brak. Right? That means you're going to go to Bnei Brak. You're going to find from the children of Aman. Yeah? Even of Nebuchadnezzar. He says, one, the one that destroyed the Beit HaMikdash, he burnt the Hechal, you're going to bring him under the Shekhinah. That's what it means. Right? By the way, once I gave a Dvar Torah on this, the reason why is because since they were the cause that brought us closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? Since they were the cause that brought us closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's why their children became close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Meaning the reason why all these people became, that their children became people that they were teaching Torah, is because ultimately, even if it wasn't their kavanah, they brought us closer to Hashem because of their bad decrees. Right? The Bishman Ben Nachmani Amar, Elu Na'arot Bavel. He himself was a ger tzedek. He himself was a ger tzedek.
Well, kills people. It should be.
But he's a ger tzedek. I don't know.
Why Nebuchadnezzar will suffer and he doesn't know?
I guess he was just a messenger, and Nebuchadnezzar never did teshuvah. I guess. He says, "V'tilgema detzinit de Bavelai." We're talking about the kavanah, the Kalim of Bavel. Amar Ula says, "Amor Moav shibeve bish Yerushalem." These are the shchenim raim of Yerushalayim in Amor Moav. Right? He says, given the children of Nevi'ah, once they heard that the Nevi'im, that they were going to destroy Yerushalayim, they went and they sent to Nebuchadnezzar, go destroy Yerushalayim. Amar, he went and he said, I'm afraid that they're going to do to me what they did to the previous ones, which is Sanhedrin. He's not at home. The man's not home. Nobody's home. He went and he sent, so he went and he says, okay, but he's going to come back. He went very far away. Once he went very far away, you could do whatever you want to the house. Right? When a person goes away, that's it. Yeah, a person leaves his seat here. He goes away. He doesn't come. Yeah, he comes from Shabbat to Shabbat. It's not here Friday night, on Shabbat. He goes away. Shalach lehu. So he comes and he says, he sent him. He said, yeah, but the tzaddikim, right? They want. They're gonna bring him back. He said, no. He took the tzaddikim with him. Meaning the tzaddikim already died, so they're not here. When kesef tzaddikim, the tzaddikim are kesef. When a person wants money, it's tzaddikim. Shneimar vayikra li b'chamisha atzar kesef v'chomer seorim v'letech seorim. Right? Shalach lu. So he sent hadri d'shia b'tshuva. Oh, they'll do tshuva, and then they're going to pray for us. They're going to pray and they're going to bring him back. Shalchule kvar kaval lahem zman. They already have a zman. Shneimar liyom hakeseh yavo lebeto. Then keseh lazman. There's a zman kavua. Shneimar v'keseh liyom chagenu. Shalach lehu, so he went and he sent sitvava. So it's in the middle of the winter. Lomatzina, nobody's going to go in the middle of the winter to go do that. Middle of the rains, middle of the winters. Shalach lehu, shalchule, they sent him ta'ashina de tura. come through the mountains, right? And therefore you're going to get there, right? Derech HaTachtit Ha'arim, sorry, underneath the mountains. שנאמר, שלחו כר משה לארץ מסלע מדברה לארצי ציון, שלח להו, they sent to them, יתינו לדיוכתא יתבינו להם. Says, I'm going to come, I don't have anywhere where to play, where to stay. שלחו לכברות שלהם. You could be in their kvarot, right? So he says, מעולים מפלטרין שלך. They're better than even your palterin. תכתיב, ויתנו השם יוציא את עצמו מלכי יהודה ואת עצמו צלב ואת עצמו כהנים ואת עצמו הנביאים ואת עצמו ישו ישו מקבריהם, שלחו בנשם ושילח חוץ והשמיים אשר אבום ואשר ודוחה ואחשו. Meaning they went and they took out all the kvarim, they took out all the bones from the kvarim. Right? Mamash, they took out all the bones of the kvarim over there. Amar le Rav Nachman le Rav Yitzchak, Mishmi alecha, did you hear? Emataiti bar Nafli, when are they going to come in Noflim? Amar le Mamar, who's Ben Noflim? Amar le the Mashiach. Mashiach, why are you calling him Ben Noflim? Amar le in dichtiv bayom ahu akim, and that day I'm going to bring up Sukat David Anofelet. Right? Anofelet. So therefore he says that's why he's called the Mashiach. So do you know when he's going to come? And that will continue tomorrow.